Hello all you pit bosses and barbecue lovers. I'm Mr. Coursey, and today I'm here to show you how to cook a brisket on a pellet smoker. My wife Kathy last year about this time bought me a pellet smoker. I've never had a smoker before, and I was a little resistant at first to getting one, but ever since I got it, I've absolutely loved it. I got a Pit Boss pellet smoker, bought it from Lowe's. I've cooked so many things on it: briskets, pork butts, pork tenderloins, lots of ribs. So many good things you can do on those things. And it's so easy. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to monitor it 24/7. It's really great. So let's go ahead and get started. In the smoked brisket recipe, I start preparing the brisket by cutting off all the top fat. I always leave the fat on the back about a ½ an inch thick, but there was a lot of fat in the middle and it was hard fat, and you don't want that because it's gristly and stuff. When you put the rub on, you want to be rubbing it on the meat and not as much the fat. I'm a firm believer that fat adds flavor. You also don't want to be just eating all just fat. Then rub olive oil on it and let it marinate in the fridge overnight. Today I'm preparing the dry rub. This rub was given to me by my Uncle Ken. He said this is the Texas Roadhouse Rub. The Texas Roadhouse Rub includes the following ingredients: 4 teaspoons of kosher salt, 4 teaspoons of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 2 teaspoons of pepper. I mix it all up in a small bowl to combine all the seasonings. You want to have a lot of rub, and I'll probably make this twice. The recipe only calls to do this once, but I'll do it twice. I just like a lot of rub because so much comes off, and you want to rub it in there really well. And I'm going to let it sit on this overnight. I'm going to make this same rub tomorrow morning, apply it again, and then it's going to smoke. So it's going to turn out really flavorful. Just get it real mixed in, everything disperses evenly. Then I rub on both sides of the brisket, and I tend to put more spice on the meat side than the fat side. After I'm finished applying the rub, I wrap it in foil and refrigerate it overnight. The next morning, remove the brisket from the fridge. Remake the Texas Roadhouse Rub and apply again, but keep 1 tablespoon for the Mop Sauce. Apply the rub on both sides of the brisket and begin preparing the Mop Sauce. You need to make the Mop Sauce about 15 minutes before you make the brisket. This Mop Sauce is called the Wood Chicks beer-based Mop Sauce. You want Mop Sauce during the first few hours when it's cooking without any covering to keep the brisket moist and flavorful. The Wood Chicks beer-based Mop Sauce includes 3/4 cup of cider vinegar, 12 ounces of beer, 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and add the 1 tablespoon of the barbecue dry rub that you set aside. Mix all ingredients in a medium saucepan, reduce heat to low, and simmer for 10 minutes. Getting a Pit Boss pellet grill started is really easy. The first thing you got to do is plug it in, and then you turn it on smoke. Also on the Pit Boss smoker, I use the competition blend pellets. The competition pellets use hickory, maple, and apple. I've applied the pellets in the side to the top. It's going to be cooking brisket, so it's going to be using quite a bit. So you want to make sure that it is kept full at all times. Now what you're going to wait for is to start seeing some smoke. You'll start hearing the pellets drop, and then it'll start smoking. After about a minute of being on smoke, I can start seeing the smoke. It smells really good and like natural wood. It's great. But now it's ready to turn the temperature up, and then I'm going to shut the lid and then wait for it to get to the desired temperature, and then put the meat in. Heat up your pellet smoker to 200 degrees. The recipe calls for 225 degrees, but my smoker seems to cook the brisket too fast. So I get better results from cooking it at a lower temperature for a longer period of time. So I got the temperature ready at the right degrees. I got the brisket with the rub applied and the mop sauce. So it's ready to go. I'm going to put it in with the thicker side towards the left. It seems like it cooks a little hotter on this side anyway. Got the probes in. Initially you're going to cook it fat side down until it reaches about 165, then you're going to pull it out and wrap it, and then put it fat side up for the rest of it. You need to use a temperature monitor with probes to make sure that the brisket is done. That's pretty much going to be your guide throughout the process to know when you're done, when you need to pull the brisket out and wrap it and everything. The temperature probe is on and it's ready to cook. Heat up and reapply the mop sauce every 1.5 to 2 hours. Once the brisket reaches 165 degrees, remove it from the smoker. Place the brisket in butcher paper, pour the rest of the mop sauce on it, and seal it with the butcher paper. Set the brisket in the smoker fat side up until it reaches between 198 degrees to 205 degrees for about 5 hours or so. Typically the total cook time for a brisket is approximately 1 hour for each pound in weight. Now it's time to get the brisket out of the grill. It's reached 201 degrees. So let's check it out and see what it looks like. I got my aluminum pan. It helps keep everything from spilling out. Sometimes there's a little mop sauce that gathered at the bottom. You don't want it hidden everywhere. So we just pulled this out of the smoker, and we're going to take a look and see what we got. Smells very good. Looks good. It's got a little bit of bark to it. Yeah, the butcher paper's ripping, so that's why the aluminum pan plays a good part. Oh yeah, that looks very good. So let's check it out. Oh yeah, okay. It's got a little smoke ring to it over here. Look at that juice come out. Got a bit of a smoke ring right there. I wish it could have been a little bit there, but you can see it. Brisket feeds a lot of people. You can do a lot with it. If you're just cooking for your family, you can freeze the leftovers, throw it in a crock pot with some gravy mix, and it's a quick, easy meal. You can also make chopped beef sandwiches. There's all kinds of things you can do with a brisket. Dip it in this sauce here. That's good stuff. Thanks for watching.
Hey class, if you like this video, please click like below and subscribe to this channel. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.